Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we've got David Wilner on the show. Hey, David, how are you?
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Looks like you're in a lovely place today. David is the Chief Executive Officer of LLM, that's Liquid Litigation Management, a company that uses AI to search and strategically review and organize various legal files. And as many of you know, I am obsessed with machine learning right now. So I really love when AI is applied for specific challenges like this one. And so I'm excited to learn more about what you're doing at LLM, David. But before we get there, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career to date.
Yeah, certainly. Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for asking. I've started my career back in the early 2000s when I started my own business doing document imaging and scanning for the legal community. A very similar path to where a lot of people grew up into the eDiscovery world. So I actually started that company on personal credit cards out of a little 400 square foot apartment in Midtown Manhattan, sort of kicked my girlfriend at the time, currently now my wife, out of the living room and converted that into our little office space. In a very short period of time, I grew that into a 4,000 square foot facility in Midtown Manhattan. And we really started taking off and running and really grew with the industry and converted a lot of our paper-based business into more digital, getting into the eDiscovery world. So that company grew and merged and then was acquired, and then I became Chief Operating Officer through the acquisitions at FRONTEO, which at the time was the only publicly traded company in our space, public both on the Nikkei and the NASDAQ. So I was a COO at that company for a little over 3 years, and then came to LLM and really fell in love with the technology and the platform. Some really good, dedicated, hardworking people. And, I'm a big believer in those 3 Ps, people, process, and product. And definitely had big hits on all 3 in that cycle. So
I definitely want to, I definitely want to dig in more on LLM and what you guys are working on. You told me before we started that there's a nice play on an acronym here with the name.
Yes. Well, LLM is also a legal degree that can be earned internationally by attorneys. So that LLM is a play on that.
That's great. And so tell me more about what you guys are doing and how you're using machine learning.
Well, the core business that we do is hosting documents in our platform for litigation or legal review. And the way currently that we're applying machine learning is to make finding those documents, make that review process as easy as possible. A lot has been done in what people are calling continuous active learning, which basically means that the system is continuously learning while you are reviewing the documents. Some people stretch what the capabilities of the platform are, and it's really if it's true AI. Our platform is truly AI. It is truly learning whether you are doing something, or even if you're not making a decision, the system is learning by you not making decisions. So we've taken a very different approach to it, and to make it as easy as possible to find those documents.
That's great. I mean, I spent many a summer working in law firms. And I think my sole purpose was to look for documents. So I can imagine, the efficiencies that are completed here in this type of process. I generally see it, broadly speaking, in kind of the business, especially in the legal space, a lot of talk about machine learning being applied are we heading to a world without lawyers, or is that just too much of a dream?
Yeah, that's always a question, and you're seeing machine learning starting to creep into all aspects of the law, whether it's e-discovery review like we're talking about, or if it's more nuanced and contract analysis stuff. But there's always going to be a need for lawyers, right? It's just a matter of that they won't have to spend those hours in the dark rooms in the basements with the dingy, dusty, dirty boxes of paper with spiders crawling out of them. And we're definitely seeing the community starting to take hold and really adopt these technologies as something that's here to stay.
So, I can see how this is applicable to so many industries, and certainly in the legal space where you're having to review so many documents and sort things out. So it makes it very, very clear. But over the last couple of years, as we've been living through this crazy pandemic moment, what kind of things are you guys seeing in terms of your product? I'm imagining probably is a lot more interest for it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the pandemic hasn't changed much of our philosophy of our company. That's, I guess, that sort of model and that sort of path that people are on. We were already on it, right? It's our goal to make the platform as accessible as possible to anybody, anywhere. So you could be litigating from a beach in Mexico or from a boardroom in New York. It doesn't make a difference for us. That's part of really what we're trying to do and what we're trying to do with the machine learning. We're making people click fewer buttons, get to the results faster, easier, in a more efficient manner. So we're really just accelerating what we've already been doing and really helping people to untie themselves from anything that is going to lock them into a singular place.
So, as you've gotten more and more involved with the business and the product and seen it shaped, are you seeing that you guys may move into other business verticals, or how do you imagine this will evolve over time?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's interesting. We touch on all sorts of different businesses as it is. It's funny, I was just having a conversation with someone in the financial industry who I was talking about, one of our gas and oil clients, and he was amazed that someone in technology was so aware of what was going on in the gas and oil industry and what OPEC was doing to us nationally, right? It's because we touch on all the different industries, because if there's litigation, we're going to be involved in the industry. Right. What's interesting, what we're doing with the machine learning, though, is really trying to take things to a whole nother level, where instead of just focusing core on the documents themselves and making that review process, we're also going to use it to improve the product itself, whether it's security updates and patches that can be made automatically, where it's growing in sizes and scales and capabilities. And so if someone is doing something that requires a lot more horsepower, for instance, it will automatically sense it, it will automatically know it, it will automatically grow it. We'll have monthly security updates that are all automatically applied. So no human intervention is needed. So really to take the experience of being a SaaS-based business to another level, where you really truly can let the platform itself heal, take care of, and learn itself.
I love it. It sounds great. You're talking to someone who spent a long time working on a PhD. I wish I'd had this product and I could have used it to to do some of my research for me. But when you look at this space, I can see clearly why it's important, and I can see how it's evolving. I'm imagining that during the pandemic, at least I've seen with some products like this, some of the barriers that people had with technologies like AI seem to have dissipated. I guess I talk about like the naysayer in the boardroom basically is getting outvoted now, because companies know they need to have cost savings and tools like that. I'd just be curious if that's something that you've been experiencing a bit.
Yeah, it's been an evolution in our industry. Our people every day are getting more and more comfortable with it. Has the pandemic accelerated that a bit? Yeah, I think it helped people accelerate the fact that they need to untether themselves from the old mentality of having big data centers within their offices. So it's really helped push that forward. And as we interject those technologies into their daily lives is really where things start blowing up for them and really taking off and getting people comfortable with it. But it is still a process for us to get people comfortable. We are, serving litigators and lawyers who aren't always known as the most cutting edge technological.
They're not necessarily they're not the early adopters.
Correct. So it is a process for us of getting people comfortable with it first. It's a little bit of a, walk before you run.
Yeah, but I think that, the fact that you've taken a product, you've seen a problem, you've applied technology to, let's say it's a relatively acute problem, and provided a deep solution. I find that with the work that I've done with other machine learning companies that are succeeding with AI-related products are doing just that. Ones that have very clear focus, clear purpose, and it seems to be a very successful model. So, David, it's been spectacular to learn more about Liquid Litigation Management and what you guys are working on. If somebody wanted to find out more about LLM, where should they find you?
Well, there's always our website, llm.com, and you can always contact me directly, dwilner@llminc.com.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Well, we've been speaking with David Wilner. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Liquid Litigation Management. It's a company that uses AI to search and strategically review and organize various legal files. He's really been walking us through how machine learning is going to be applied more and more in the legal profession. And he's promised me a world where we don't have lawyers. Oh, no, he didn't promise me that. Unfortunately, I think that we're empowering lawyers with these great tools that will take it to the next level. So thank you so much for being on the show today, David.
Thank you. Appreciate being here. And it's been really a fun time.
Cheers.